G'day guys, welcome back to another video. It's Lloyd here on my own. I'm coming to you from beautiful Siem Reap, Cambodia. It is Tuesday the 23rd of December, and the reason I bring that up is because we've been here for a little over 2 weeks now. We just put out our first video in Cambodia, which was kind of like our first impressions, which were honestly amazing. We've loved it here in Siem Reap and in Cambodia in general. You can probably hear the birds chirping. It's a beautiful day. It's, I guess, considered winter here. The weather's not too hot, there's no rain. But getting to the point of this video is to address, I guess, some safety concerns that people have expressed in like the comment section of our video, as well as DMs and emails we've been receiving. There's been mixed reactions. People have very mixed opinions on whether or not it is safe to travel to Cambodia at the moment because of the conflict that's taking place, and so I'm hoping to answer some of those questions and concerns in today's video. And I'm going to, obviously, look, I'm not a journalist, everybody knows that. Clearly I'm not a journalist. I may not be the most intelligent person either, but I think there's been a lot of stuff going around the media, especially social media, that has maybe put the fear into people where it shouldn't have, but a lot of it is true as well. Like there is a lot of fighting going on in certain areas, but whether or not that's something you need to be concerned about if you're traveling here, or if you're already here, or if you're just concerned about us. So I want to put some of that to rest. So I'm going to be looking down at my phone because I do have the factual information, which I just don't have a good enough memory to memorize off the top of my head for everything that's going on. So let's get straight to it. We landed here on the 6th of December, and the timing was quite incredible actually, because the fighting that started along the Thailand-Cambodia border started on, there's mixed reports, either the 7th or the 8th of December, so like the day after we got here, and we started hearing about it pretty much like 1 or 2 days after we arrived. So we didn't like plan a month or 6 week long trip to Cambodia knowing that this was happening or going to happen. Everything was fine when we booked it, everything was fine when we got here. It was literally like 48 hours after we got here that this started. But from the day we got here, everything in Siem Reap has been amazing. Like there's been no sign of any troubles, aside from the fact that talking to a couple of hotel owners and managers, that they have been busy housing people who've been displaced. So from the last count that I've been able to see online, and whether or not this is accurate or not, I'm not sure, it's close to 800,000 people displaced on both sides, so Thailand, Cambodia combined, which is very sad, obviously. I actually went out to our local night market 2 or 3 nights ago, expecting to see just a regular night market, and what I saw was a couple of trucks and what looked like either police officers or army officers handing out rations of food, I think. I wasn't sure if that was what was happening. It's what appeared to be what was happening to me, which was really sad. So I should mention, actually, we will leave a link to in the pinned comment and in the description to a GoFundMe that can help out the people who have been displaced, because there's a lot of Cambodians and Thais that are living along the border areas who had to leave their homes, and their homes are everything. They raise their own cattle and meat and food, and that's their business, that's their livelihood. They didn't just get to jump in a car and go on a holiday. They had to literally leave everything because it's just too dangerous to be there at the moment. Initially there was some tensions and some violence in July of 2025, and that went on for a little while, but they reached a peace deal agreement. But however, as I said at the start of the video, around December 7th or 8th is when the conflict started again. And so the violence is pretty much isolated to the 500-mile stretch of the border that Thailand and Cambodia share. And everything that I have seen as far as like government reports and warnings is just to not travel within 50 kilometers of the border. And there's been reports I've seen on like Instagram about Siem Reap being bombed. When you see stuff like that, they're talking about Siem Reap, the province, not Siem Reap, the city. It's two very different things. So Siem Reap, the city, has not experienced any violence whatsoever. I've heard reports, and I don't know if they're true or not, that there has been violence come as far as 70 kilometers within Cambodia's border. Now, again, believe what you will. That may be true. I'm not here to pretend to be some type of journalist. I'm just reporting what I've heard. And then since we've been here, talking to both locals and expats that have been living here for a long time, Cambodians want peace, and I'm assuming that the Thais want the same thing. I don't think anybody wants this. So I won't make any comment about that. It's obviously some type of political thing that's going on. And there's a lot of history involved in this. It's been going on for centuries, this border conflict, because there were different border lines drawn up through different periods of time, and so they've disputed which country owns which piece of land. And so this is like something that escalates every now and then. And they've all assured me, the locals and the expats that have been here, this will not go any further than the border zones that I mentioned earlier. So 50 kilometers within the border zones, maybe more, maybe stretch it out to 70. They've assured us that no, it's not going to go into any of the capital cities or anything like that. And everyone's actually super hopeful that there will be a peace deal agreed to really soon. Just gonna have a sip of my coffee. So, what does that mean for us, and what does that mean for you if you're traveling to Cambodia? You can still travel to Cambodia. There are regular flights coming in, nothing has changed. You can't travel by land from Thailand. The Thailand-Cambodia border is obviously closed off. I know a lot of people who live in Thailand as expats. They do border runs across Cambodia. That's obviously stopped. I think that stopped back in July, honestly. That hasn't been really happening all year. So that's nothing new. But yeah, you can fly into Phnom Penh, you can fly into Siem Reap as usual, but there are places that we've been warned not to go to, which has affected our plans a little bit. So originally our plan was spend a week in Siem Reap, travel all around Cambodia for a month, and then go back to Bali. But we actually decided to extend our stay here, not because of anything to do with the conflict going on, just because we loved it here so much, and we realized that there was so much to see and do that we were going to need more than 30 days if we're going to do it justice. But some of the places we were planning on going, we're not going to be able to go to at this stage, and I'm hoping that might still change because we do have quite a lot of time left here. But right now, the key provinces where the fighting is happening is Priya Vihir. I'm going to butcher this. Priya Vihir. I'm sure I've said that wrong, and I'm sorry if I have. That's the main province where this fighting is going on, and there's, let me get this right. So yeah, pre over here, that's where this sort of all escalated, and that's the main focal point of this violence that has been going on for a long time. Oda Menchi, Bantaya Menchi, Battambang, Persat, Siem Reap area, which is just affected by the displacement, and parts of Siem Reap province. Sao Kao, Sisaket, Surin, Ubon, Ratchathani, and Burambin. So that's areas on both sides of the border. I should also add Ko Kong, which is an area we were going to head to. We've been advised not to head there either. But if you're traveling to Cambodia, anywhere outside of the 50 kilometer zones are completely fine. So if you're planning a trip to Siem Reap or Phnom Penh, you will not be affected whatsoever. People have told me that it is quieter here than usual as far as tourism, and I'm guessing that is probably because of the conflict that's been going on pretty much all year. People have been a bit weary of coming here, which is understandable. But being on the ground here for over 2.5 weeks, like, I'm telling you right now, it feels as peaceful as ever, and people are in very, very good spirits. Aside from those, obviously, that have been displaced, like the locals in Siem Reap, everything seems to be as normal. So, as of today, the 23rd, a ceasefire is being negotiated. They previously agreed to one, apparently, but it didn't last, I think, more than like 12 hours, for whatever reason, and I won't get into why, because I don't really know, honestly. We heard news that there was a ceasefire reached about a week ago, and then, yeah, straight away the next day, that was all over with, so, which is kind of disappointing, but I'm hopeful that something's going to be reached pretty soon. It seems like there's obviously a lot of politics behind this. I've seen reports that Cambodia has offered up an unconditional ceasefire. Thailand is saying they haven't been offered that, and Malaysia and the United States are getting involved. So yeah, we're hopeful that something will happen soon, and I am very, very certain that this doesn't put us in any danger. We are changing our route of travel for obvious reasons. I'm not going to put myself, and especially not my wife and daughter, in harm's way by going to any of the areas, even though they may be safe. Even if there's just a medium level warning, we're just not going to go there, because I think we have a long enough time here where we may still be able to get to those areas if things calm down, but I mean, it's just not worth it. And you know, we're still planning on heading from Siem Reap all the way down to the south, where the islands are, through Phnom Penh. We're just not going to head the original way, which was sort of along the western border, which is a really, really beautiful drive, and it's unfortunate that we can't do it, but it is what it is. So I guess the most important thing is thoughts and prayers to everyone who's been affected by this, the families that have been displaced. There's been casualties on both sides, mostly military, some civilian, I believe. I'm not here to give any opinion on who's to blame. I just want to share my condolences on behalf of myself and Mandy and Lila. And as I said, I'm going to put a link down below to a GoFundMe page, which is to help out those people. And I'll also add some links to some stories. And if you're seeing this in a week's time or 2 weeks' time or whatever, and things have changed, that's because things are evolving here rapidly. But as of today, that's the situation. We're 2 days out from Christmas. Everybody's in really good spirits. We're in good spirits. We're having a great time here in Siem Reap. We hope this can end soon, and hopefully, if you've been thinking about coming here, or if you're on your way here, or if you know people that are here, or if you're worried about us, don't worry, everything is completely fine. We're doing great. We're loving it. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. I think I'll end it there. And if you found this helpful at all, hit the like button, because that'll let YouTube and the algorithm know that I gave you some good information, and maybe it'll show some other people. And if you want to see the rest of our Cambodian adventures, which we've already filmed a lot and we're going to be filming way more, subscribe for more travel content, especially in Cambodia. And we'll see you in the next video.
Times are getting crazy and everything seems hazy. Is there some place for safety I could go?